Topic for today is brutally honest and white lies.
You don't get to pick and choose when you get the brutally honesty and when you get a white lie. I might not always be brutally honest, but the honesty means I'm always gonna be honest. When you say you're a fucking white liar, I don't care what you're white lying about, you're a fucking liar.
When I say the brutal truth, and let's say with him, I don't think his intent is malicious. However, I don't give a fuck about the intent. My thing is, I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling regardless.
I was raised around brutally honest people.
Correct.
I'm from West Baltimore.
Correct.
If something ain't right, when you leave, you're going to be right. You see what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I mean, somebody don't care about you if you come around and we just sitting there saying, yeah, that's nice, this and that. And then the minute you walk away, what you think they doing? They talking about your flaws.
I get it sometimes, but some things, if I didn't ask for it or if it's not warranted, shut the fuck up.
All right, everybody, welcome to Date Night with Coach, episode 5. So far, we've taken y'all through conversations about bitter baby moms, deadbeat dads, talked about what men want, talked about the kids, and most recently, we talked about in-laws and outlaws. We had a little moment of celebration. That was our episode that thus far has garnered the most views and everything, so we're excited about where we're going. So today, we're gonna have a conversation about some people. So last episode, Sharice, you made a statement in just conversation about your husband. You said, my husband is brutally honest, right?
Yes.
And so on that note, I believe and I recognize that people who are quote unquote brutally honest, sometimes they get a bad rap, right?
Definitely.
And so today there's another set of people that we want to consider while we talk about those who are brutally honest, and we're gonna kind of base our conversation around that. So the topic for today is brutally honest and white lies.
Okay.
All right, and so we'll dive in. Of course, I just want to give a little context. So when I looked up, doing some research and reading and things like that through some, Psychology Today, some HuffPost, different articles and things like that. What I got when you look at brutally honest, right? By definition, it could be characterized as savagely violent honesty. Savagely violent being the word brutal, right?
That sounds about accurate.
Okay. So we're gonna get into that. Now, and so when we talk about the connotation behind white lies, that one is harmless or trivial lie. Right? So in these articles, I'm gonna give you a couple quotes from the article.
See, that shit sound crazy to me.
I was just
I'm gonna give y'all the one. Hold on, we're gonna get into it.
I was sounding racist.
Yeah, I got
like
right. So
triggered.
I want y'all to hold it though, because I want to let y'all digest it. So when you kind of start the conversation, I want you to have all this in mind. All right. So here's a quote from an article that spoke about brutal honesty, and I believe honestly this particular article was really negative towards people who are quote unquote brutally honest. So being self-described straight shooters, the brutally honest risk hurting the feelings of the receiver, raising their defenses so that they want to distance and protect themselves instead of responding in a useful way. So a person being brutally honest, the person
Protecting
receiving
themselves?
because with the connotation behind that is that the person who's receiving that information is essentially feeling attacked. Right? Got you. And so for the white lie, here's what it says. A different article though. Despite the disheartening message that most people are liars, we can perhaps take solace in recognizing that most of the lies people tell are small white lies.
but that's like coming from who? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Everything comes from somewhere, right?
I was just in court the other day, man. That's like some shit that's in court. Like when it's on their side, it's small white lies. Like, but when it's your side, it's like, come on, man.
Brutally honest.
All right. So here we go. We're gonna keep it moving.
Okay.
So here's some perceptions, right? Some perceptions and some motivators of and some risk. And so we're gonna talk about risk of being brutally honest. When you're brutally honest, people feel judged. That's the research, right? That's what people believe. When we're brutally honest, we risk looking dumb and vulnerable. We make people feel uncomfortable, or we hurt them. We risk that. It's hard to make a good first impression. We're perceived as insensitive and arrogant, and we feel misunderstood or lonely. That's a risk of being brutally honest, right? And so some of the motivators that people have of telling white lies. People tell white lies to make others feel good, others feel supported, right? We tell white lies because we try to use tact when delivering information to people.
Oh, well, we tell white lies when we try and manipulate and get what the fuck we want.
That's tact, right? Hold on. we tell white lies for psychological compensation. And so what that means is when I'm uncomfortable, when I have issues, when I'm trying to, compensate for something that's going on with me, we tell white lies. We tell white lies for power difference. One of the examples was we'll tell our boss at work that, I don't mind working double shifts every day. Because there's a person of authority, I don't want to seem insubordinate and say, no, I got to go home to my family. I'm going to say, no, I'm good, it's all good, it's cool. But it's really not. So that's a white lie because of that power difference. We're afraid of looking insubordinate. And relational stability. So we tell white lies because we want to make sure that our relationships are stable. We fear the stability of our relationship. So if I tell this person the truth, there's some instability in our relationship. And I want y'all to hold all of this because it's some things I want to hear what you guys got to say. And so my question is this. One of my questions, I got a few of them. So when we talk about those who are brutally honest, we talk about those who tell white lies. This is my first question I want to hear from you guys. Is either or both of them a character flaw or a personality trait?
I say the white lie is the I think that's the flaw. Mm-hmm. I think brutal honesty is the personality trait. Because when we talk about the situation, we actually trying to compare it's like polite to lie, but it's wrong to tell the truth. And in most instances, it's like telling the truth. It's like we get into the nitty gritty. It ain't I got to play around it because I still got integrity within the truth. Like if I'm telling you white lies, that means then I might be trying to set a boundary against you and I'm really not setting that boundary. So I got to endure myself until I get to the point to say, look, enough is fucking enough. Here comes the truth. Which in terms, when somebody be brutally honest, it's like, you know where to go from. The truth is straight coming out. They don't care what you think. They don't want nothing out of you.
Well, who determines the white lie though? Because white lie can be subjective.
A lie is a lie, though.
Exactly. So you say white lie like a white lie.
No, that's what I said. That's
it was just a little lie.
Right. No,
who
a lie is a lie.
That? The truth is just the fucking truth.
Right.
So what I get from, again, just living, obviously, but, some of the things, again, I text you guys right before we start, like, look, I've been doing some research and stuff, but what I'm seeing that the perception is this. The word brutal is used because it creates a situation where telling the truth is intended to hurt somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's about the intent, right?
Right.
And so the white lie connotation says that this little lie that I'm telling you is really to protect or to help or to uplift or to make you feel good.
So I have to agree with you in the aspect of the little white lie. However, when I say the brutal truth, and let's say with him, I don't think his intent is malicious. Mm-hmm. However, I don't give a fuck about the intent. My thing is I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling regardless. Mm-hmm. Maybe say it a little nicer because I can take the truth.
Favor, sis. Do me a favor. We're going to get into that. I want you to hold that. Because right now, I want to, let's talk about it generally. Let's talk about it generally first, right? Okay. But I want you to come back to that. Because we got a couple layers, right? So right now let's think about these two concepts generally, right? So when we're talking about the brutal honesty, we're talking about the white lies. We're talking about whether they're it's a character flaw or whether it's a personality trait. Eric mentioned, you said that you believe that brutal honesty is just personality. This is who I am, right? And then white lie is
It's a character.
I
It's a
think
flaw.
I think
All right.
both are personality traits. I say that to say this.
So you think
Hold on,
like
let's-
oh
no.
Go
like
ahead.
I'm saying like you saying like somebody being a liar is a personality trait?
No, so the white truth is not saying that you're a liar. It's saying
that's
that
saying you're a liar.
It's to me, it's saying that I'm being choosy over my words in order to protect.
No.
Well,
shit
choice
up.
over your words and white lie, I think, is two different
Right.
entities. Because choice over your words is to say, I might lower my tone and say, hey, your dress don't fit you as good. And I might just change how I say that. But the concept is your dress is ugly.
Basically.
But saying a white lie is saying, oh, girl, you look good.
Right.
Your dress is beautiful. That's a fucking lie.
So basically what you're saying is it's a way to tell a motherfucker that breath stink.
Right.
Well, where are you getting that from? Please
Because
explain.
truth is true. Somebody can come straight out and say in front of everybody, God damn you, what the fuck? You ain't did shit today? Or somebody can pull you to the side and say, your shit kind of a little foul right now. It's still the truth.
Right.
But that still can be categorized as being honest.
So so how can you white lie tell somebody that their breath stink then?
You said what?
How can you white lie somebody tell somebody
I don't
that
think
breath
it's a
stink?
white lie in that particular.
So white lies pretend that
conversation.
you don't smell shit? Is that the white lie?
No, when I think of white lie, I'm just being honest with you. It's being careful in your words of choice.
Okay.
It can be you speaking your truth, but maybe not putting it all up front. If that makes sense. Do you understand what I'm
I
saying?
get what you're saying.
So
I
it's
get what
still
you're
me
saying,
being
but I don't think
honest,
that's
but
a
it's
white
just
lie.
being cautious of how you're
So
saying and what you're saying.
I'm glad you did that. You just pushed me a little bit ahead, but I ain't gonna leave where we at. So essentially, what I got in my research is this: the brutal honesty is basically people who are brutally honest. You never have to kind of guess what they're thinking because because they're gonna tell you, right? They're gonna tell you straight up. A person who tells a white lie, they're seemingly the people who just want to get along, right? They want everybody to feel good, and so that balance between the two is what I believe you're describing, where you're telling the truth, but you may just be softening it up a little bit. You're softening the blow.
Yes.
So it's not. So I think you're speaking on that middle ground,
Right.
where you're not being quote unquote brutal in your honesty,
Right.
and you're not lying either. So you're making sure
Okay.
you're
Right.
saying things in a way
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
protects folks. So I'm gonna let you talk about your character flaw versus personality trait. What you think?
What, white lie versus?
Yes.
I agree with Eric. White lie is character flaw, I believe, and brutal honesty is personality.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna
Because I don't.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead. So I'm gonna veer away from both of those two terms, right? But what I'm gonna go a little deeper, right? So when we talk about why people, and I guess not necessarily why, but people that are brutally honest, people who are brutally honest, they risk, like we talked about those risks, right? You risk being misunderstood. You risk being characterized as being mean, right? People who tell white lies are more concerned about perception. They're more concerned about, I want to make you feel good. I don't want you to think I'm being mean, right? And so oftentimes, what I believe, and I've read some things, but this is just what I'm speaking on right now is my belief, that people who are brutally honest have a level of what we talked about a little before, that self-actualization, that if you get pissed off at me telling the truth, that's a you problem, right? Do I believe that sometimes us, folks that are brutally honest can temper what they say in a way that's received? Absolutely. But the confidence and the ability to say what you need to say is necessary in many cases, in my belief. A person who will tell a white lie to you will also tell a white lie on you, if that makes sense.
No, a lie is a liar.
And so, to me, when you use the term brutally honest, it's putting a negative connotation on telling the truth. And when you put the spin, it's just a white lie on lying, it's putting a positive connotation on telling a lie. And so,
We live in a world where you want to be lied to.
and so essentially, the person who, and we talked about the giver, the sender of that information. So the receiver of brutal honesty is in position where they can grow. If you're being brutally honest with me and I'm taking it, I'm learning something about myself, about whatever.
Right.
And so the person who's receiving a white lie is sometimes being placated.
And then procrastinate.
And so what Ebony mentioned about, okay, yeah, your dress is, man. So think about this scenario, that particular scenario. If y'all already go out and she say, yeah, nah, sure, that ain't the one, don't wear that, right? And you be like, all right, cool, you change, you go out and you feeling good. People are like, oh, I like that. And you're like, ooh, I'm glad I changed my clothes, right? But what if your homegirl like, yeah, girl, that's it. Yeah, you look nice. Yeah, you look nice. And you go out and people are like, yo, look at her. What she got? She look like Ronald McDonald. And you're like, why you ain't tell, girl? Why you ain't tell me? I know I've heard people say, why you ain't tell me I shouldn't have wore this, or why you ain't tell me I walk out the bathroom with toilet paper on my shoe? like, you know, the reality that we sometimes. So I'm gonna capture this real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next phase. Brutal honesty, in my opinion, if I'm brutally honest with you, that's about you. Mm-hmm. If I tell you a white lie, it's about me. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again. If I'm brutally honest with you, it's about you. If I tell you a white lie, then it's about me. What that means is, I see the big picture, right? And so if I'm coming to you with the hard truth, there are a few things that are present. I'm confident in our relationship. I'm confident in myself. And I'm confident enough to know that even if you get pissed at me, I did the right thing. So I'm telling you what it is. And for you, for your benefit, big picture, that's what you need to hear. Right? If I decide to tell you a white lie, then there's a level of deception there.
And manipulation.
And possibly manipulation, depending on my motive, right? Mm-hmm. But, again, the person who is telling that white lie is sometimes concerned about their relationship.
So I think that just depends on the topic or the issue at nature. And I say that to say this. Let's give something as simple as being brutally honest about an outfit. My thing is, you can say brutally honest, oh, I don't like that. But my thing is, my taste is what my taste is.
Very true.
It doesn't matter what you like, nor did I ask you what you like.
Gotcha.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So in regards to that, like, certain times that you being brutal honest is unnecessary. Now, my thing is, I get it if there's issues within the relationship that we're saying, hey, like, you're not doing this for me and doing that for me. I get that. But when it comes to, like...
That's opinions. I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. Like, even the fact that somebody being brutally honest about an outfit, it's like saying, like, I could sit there and say, yeah, I like the outfit or endure that, but then you want to hold hands and you want to do everything, and it's like it's bothering me that you wearing this shit and you want to hold hands with me, and it's like
we're gonna get to that relationship piece in a minute though. But no,
just saying.
I think it just depends on the subject matter. I think you can do that when it comes to issues in your relationship, but when it comes to, like, I don't know if I want to say worldly things, like certain things, it's unnecessary.
Well, I believe that brutally honesty and white lies it transcends relationship. Yeah, that's why I said I believe one is a character flaw and one is personality trait. And then really you can break it down to personality because you learn character flaws that develop your personality, so it all could be one and the same. But you don't get to pick and choose when you get the brutally honesty and when you get a white lie. It's either all or nothing. Because I might not always be brutally honest, but the honesty means I'm always going to be honest. So it may not always come off brutal, but it's always going to be honest. When you say you're a fucking white liar, I don't care what you're white lying about. You're a fucking liar. You're just a liar. Again, it may be as simple as a dress, but I'm not saying that somebody say your dress looks bad because they offered it. What if you asked? Because every brutal, honest comment don't come from them just soliciting it. Sometimes, just saying it. Sometimes it's soliciting.
So when dealing with mine, it comes. I don't have to ask. Okay,
let's
it's just
No,
coming.
but I said, but
all
that's
right.
but
Hey,
Let's be honest. It's coming.
We're gonna come back to that. I know. Don't beat my guy up yet.
Like,
So
it's
look,
coming.
you mentioned
Okay.
something. You said, a white lie is just a lie, right? And again, in some of my reading,
You can put any fucking color you want in front of it.
And in some of my reading, one of the articles in particular that was really negative as it related to brutal honesty. The brutal honesty in that regard is just brutal. So essentially, the way that we look at, you mentioned the white lie is still just a lie. This particular article said the brutal honesty is just brutal. So essentially, a person not being able to receive that honesty because of the brutality.
But which makes it subjective.
Yeah, exactly. And so exactly. So really,
Very subjective.
So what I believe is this.
Because what's the definition of brutal right now?
No, I'm saying because some people could sit there and say, I could say something and the next person could say the exact same thing, but because I said it, it becomes brutal because of the energy between me and the individual opposed to somebody else.
That's where the mind state of the receiver comes in. So there are people, we talked about the person sending a message. Now let's consider this. A person that's receiving brutal honesty. I want you to be honest with me, right? And so essentially, I kind of like, depending on the situation, as you guys mentioned, I may be more inclined to want what Sharice described. Temper it a little bit. Kind of package it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But then there are some times where just hearing it, you need to be able to sift through and just take what you're hearing and roll with it.
Because you asking me to become a liar.
Well,
it's like if you press past me, it's like you want me to give you or say, all right, just use the outfit for we going out and your outfit, I don't like your outfit. You press behind me and you actually want me to like say, oh, you look nice and I don't want it, that ain't what I feel. So it's like you raping me to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
It's not because you don't have to tell me that you look nice. However, you just don't have to say anything.
And that's the most messed up. That's the worst thing you could
what
do.
I'm saying.
If you say, baby, I look nice, and I just say.
But this is the thing.
I think that's a lot worse, right?
Some people will never ask a person what their opinion is. In my mind, when it comes to brutal honesty, and let's say even with you just give it whether somebody asking or not.
Because I try to avoid the things that's down the road. So if you want to hold my hand later
so you see the big picture.
No, because right. So now when she grabbed my hand, what if she find out her outfit ain't shit when I reject her hand when we in public? Now why would you want to find out then and let her get what I'm saying?
But again, brutal honesty still can be it's subjective because outfit, we talking about outfit. If you just say, babe, I really don't like your outfit. It could be tempered well. It could be said well, and you think your shit's 100%, right? It doesn't matter how Eric says it. If he say he don't like it and you're loving it, it's brutal honesty.
And sometimes,
so it's brutal.
No, I'm saying, but sometimes
no, that's what I'm saying. But it may not even been.
So let me say this.
Because when I think of brutal, I just think of.
So I think honestly, so the outfit piece, it may be a challenge to kind of digest because that's subjective. Somebody may like it, somebody may not like it, right? So that's an opinion. So that's my brutally honest opinion, right?
Right.
And so there are some real life things that take place that people don't want to deal with the truth, or people can't handle the truth, or there are people who tell white lies to skate around the truth to preserve a person's feelings, to preserve their own position in somebody's life, or what have you. I got a question for y'all, though.
I feel like at no point you tell a fucking white lie, are you protecting anybody? Because if it's a white lie, you can't maintain it.
So when you think about the people in your life, right? People that you know that may be brutally honest, people that you know that may tell white lies. Of those people, think about the ones that you like. And I mean, that's subjective. You love people. You may have a family member that you love, but you know they, are brutally honest and you don't like them, or they tell white lies and you don't like them. When you think about that characteristic, which type of person would you like mostly to be around or to be associated with or connected with?
I was raised around brutally honest people.
Correct.
I'm from West Baltimore.
Correct.
Even everybody that I've been outside with, like my homeboys, we grew up, we brutally honest. Like, if something ain't right, and I mean, you take that in because we're going to sit, when you leave, you're going to be right. You see what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I mean, somebody don't care about you if you come around and we just sitting there saying, yeah, that's nice, this and that. And then the minute you walk away, what you think they doing? They talking about your flaws. And you don't even know you got that flaw. You got to walk out in society with that flaw and show it to everybody.
So the crazy thing, to piggyback on what he's saying, and in my mind, I've always thought that based upon his upbringing or raising, when he's being brutally honest, he doesn't see anything wrong with that. Not saying whether it is or not, just based off of the environment that he was raised in. So, like, that's what they did. And I get it sometimes, but some things, if I didn't ask for it or if it's not warranted, shut the fuck up.
Then just say
You know
that.
what I
Be
mean?
brutally honest and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
But see,
this.
this the crazy
You know what
part.
I
This why
mean?
this shit be so subjective. Because that's like saying we supposed to communicate, right? We gonna talk, but we can't talk about certain shit.
That part.
You see what I'm saying? But then if it comes out, it comes out. Truth come out. Truth
You
come
wanna
out.
talk, but if
And
I
guess
tell you the
what?
truth, you want me to
And
shut
if
the
we
fuck
even
up.
talking about fucking Cheerios and Fruit Loops, if your fucking shirt bothers me within that Cheerios to the Fruit Loops in between, that fucking shirt bothers me. It just
So guess what? I get that to an extent of you saying, guess what? I don't like this. I don't like that. The issue with sometimes with the brutally being honest is the shit carries on. I heard you. I received what you're saying.
So I gotta say
but
one
this
thing,
is,
though, sis.
I
just gotta
this
say
is
one
what
thing.
I want to do.
So hold on.
Like-
so you live
She
a life
about to
where
turn
hold
this to a
on, you
whole
live a
nother
life where
situation.
you're married to Eric Harvey, right?
Right.
Right,
But
brutally
you're also
honest.
married to Harv the Great.
Brutally honest.
And so this dude is his alter ego. I don't think he turns it on and off. So
He does not.
So you need to hit him upside his head. with a
So
club.
let me be honest
Tell them to
with
shut
you.
the fuck up.
So listen, to be honest, because of that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like we're very in my household, we're into spirituality, zodiac signs, all of that. A lot of times, because he's been that way, that has helped my growth. That has helped me become stronger in a sense to where.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got back this shit up. So his brutal honesty has helped your growth, your successes.
To me,
but
to
now
be
it's a
stronger.
So is there a line that just showed us you answered the question,
And
sis?
that's the problem.
So,
That's the
brutally
problem.
honest and
So
right
I'm saying I can
and
say
stars
I've
come from
grown
being
a
brutally
tougher
honest.
skin. I have, because I've been in my upbringing, certain things we've been coddled with. You understand what I'm saying? And I get it.
You've been
Like,
coddled, but you got some brutal honesty in your motherfucking lineage too.
I do.
The fuck?
But
Yeah, so
But with me, I've always handled certain things with tact, if that makes sense. My thing is, even with me, you can say something that might be offensive, but depending on how you deliver it, might be how I receive it. You know what I mean? So really, to be honest, in the beginning of our relationship, when he's being honest, I'm like, handle me with care. Like,
But see-
you had to come to me and say it a certain way for me to receive
see-
it. And like, he gets that maybe a little more now than in the beginning, but in the beginning, it was just like,
But see,
like all the time.
even when it comes to communication, right? Sometimes we got to be brutally honest with ourselves. When somebody telling you something, if somebody's intentions is to be disrespectful, I know that. It's an energy between disrespect and when somebody just telling you the truth. Now, sometimes somebody telling you the truth, you might take it, it might be disrespect because of the way it make you feel. But
Yes.
all
I
right,
can agree with
but but in this reality, if somebody's trying to be disrespectful, it's going to be an energy about it. They're going to be attentive to you to see like your results of what you get. What I'm saying, when somebody got their attention, they expecting a reaction,
See,
and they waiting
the
for it.
reality that I feel is that in no situation when you are being brutally honest, and let's not stop saying fucking brutal because
Right, 'cause
that's
it's not,
subjective.
right, yeah.
Let's just
Let's
say
say
honest.
honest,
When
right.
you're being honest, I feel like that's just what it is. I don't feel like that's coming from, like, even if it is coming from a place of disrespect, at least you give a
still
fuck
know, you
about
know
me
the truth
enough
regardless.
to let me know where you
But-
stand.
So here's
I
what
respect
wanna
I
say.
don't know where you stand in a white lie.
Right,
I
at
know
all.
exactly. So if I take it, if I receive it, if I like it, if I want it, I can take it or not. But I know your fucking position. And I don't have to question
you know what's
that.
crazy? That motherfucker that give you that white lie, guarantee you 20 times out of 20 times, they're going to go back and tell somebody the opposite of whatever that white lie was. They're going to express that to somebody.
So here's what I'm gonna say. And the reason why, of course, intentionally, brutal honesty being the title and white lies, we could have just said truth versus lies, right? But the reality is the connotation behind brutal honesty, right? Qualifying what the honesty is. Obviously, to generate the dialogue as to somebody mentioned, I think it was you, babe. Who determines what's brutal, right? And so the receiver is going to determine what's brutal.
Correct.
Right? based off of how they're feeling.
Right.
Right? And in many cases, based off of their connection or relationship with the person that's giving them that truth.
Correct.
However, the person giving the truth does also have the ability to know who they're giving the message to and present it in a way that it will be received based on knowing your audience, right? Likewise, with a white lie, I believe that a person telling a white lie has that intuition as well, has that, the ability to know who I'm sharing this information with. So, because if I tell this person the truth, I'm not secure enough in my relationship with this person to tell them the truth. So let me make them feel good, like we talked about with the boss. I'm gonna tell the boss that I'm okay working 2 doubles when I need to get home to my family because I don't want to seem insubordinate. I don't want to, challenge my relationship with this person. So I need to tell them something to make them feel good. With all of that, my perspective is this. Brutal honesty is about the big picture. Sharice mentioned that Eric's brutal honesty throughout the course of their relationship has helped her grow and have tough skin and deal with things, right? And that's big picture, right? It might not have felt good in the moment, but it's big picture.
Correct.
However, had he given you white lies about some of the things that he's been brutally honest about, right? Again, when we met, he's always been like that. I'm not a person that takes stuff. I'm not a person that takes stuff personal. When you walk into a room and you see people joking and saying and doing what they do, you allow people to be who they are, right? That's my guy now. And so it is what it is. But when you think about, had he been a person who was to tell you what you wanted to do to feel, what you wanted to hear to feel good in the moment. So the white lie is about the moment. The brutal honesty is about the big picture. That's my perspective. And so telling you what you want to hear to make you feel good in the moment, because you know why? Because I'm about to leave this room after I tell you this, and I ain't got to deal with this no more. I'm saying what I need to say to make you feel good right now, to have you stop asking me questions, so that I can secure my relationship with you, and then I'm out. The brutal honesty, I'm gonna sit here in it, and that's, again, this is my opinion, right? Okay. When a person is brutally honest, they're honest first.
Correct.
The brutality is determined based off of
who's receiving it.
I believe it's about who's receiving it and whatever those relationship dynamics are between the two people in that transaction. And so, if I'm honest, that means I care. That's my perspective about the big picture for you. I believe if I'm telling you a white lie, I think you said it. I'm trying to, those things I talked about, preserve my relationship. There's a power difference, or I'm likely trying to manipulate.
Well, I don't even just think it's necessarily just preserve your relationship. Sometimes I think it's to preserve yourself. I believe lie is just all about self. Yeah. I don't necessarily know if you can, because to preserve a relationship, you would be willing to iron it out with whatever it took, in my opinion.
But there has to be a level of security in that relationship.
But a level of security is subjective too.
Right,
but I believe you saying because it's subjective, because again, some people feel secure or not feel secure, but it's not the same. So I feel like security should be mutual, in my opinion. But you would feel that I'm secure enough to give you the white lie, and I'm secure enough to know you're not going, to give you the truth, and I'm secure enough that you ain't going to give me a white lie. So that shit is like reciprocal. It's hand in hand.
Somebody that sit there and give you a white lie, they suffering in the moment. Because it's like they feel a certain way, but they gotta sit there and pretend.
Some people that give white lies, they putting on that. They in the dressing room getting ready for that.
But I'm saying,
out, it's showtime.
But I'm saying, say if I'm sitting here and you're doing something that's irritating me, and I'm pretending to act like I'm edging it on because I want to be receptive to you, so I want to be accepted. So the whole time I'm cringing on the inside, but I'm pretending to like this shit, which is encouraging it to be doing it more on TV.
So, next question. Go ahead.
So even to piggyback on that, because there is, say when it comes to us, like he's definitely the brutal honesty one. I'm more handle things with tact. I can be honest. However, I want to carefully word what I want to say, because at the end of the day, I can attract or get whatever I want more. You attract bees with honey versus with vinegar. Yeah. He's the vinegar, I'm the honey.
But see, I disagree.
You're still in the middle, though. But you're still in the middle.
So I am. So I'm going to be honest. But a lot of time when it comes to how things are delivered, again, because with me, how I receive things is based upon how I'm going to how I'm gonna move. So my thing is, you can be honest. I don't have an issue with the honesty at all. It's just the deliverance of it. Like,
Oh, you mean like the wit? Like it's like if you was going against me and you say something, then that's like I say something a little more witty, which in turn, you know.
No, we're not talking what we're just saying. Like, my thing is, if you want whatever you want your outcome to be, and let's be honest, you want to put a little bit of sugar on it, a cherry on top, which to me, in turn, is kind of being white lie-ish, if that makes sense. That's what I get from that.
But that's the thing, though. The thing about the brutally honest, they don't have an end game. They just saying it because that's what it is.
And you won't get
and
nowhere with
and understand this.
I'm just saying.
Well, only but so far with that.
And it
depends on who you're.
I don't want to suffer in the moment. I don't want to be the one that's sitting here and telling you, and I'm cringing on the inside. I'm not.
So let me ask this.
Well, basically, what I'm hearing is that because you're brutally honest, and I hate the brutal honest because it just seems like it just telling the truth is brutal. But
that's the.
But basically, what you're saying is I gotta now alter me.
No, you actually don't, because understand
No,
this.
no. If you're saying that brutal honesty is not.
Oh no, I know. I get what you're saying.
I gotta also who the fuck I am.
Yes.
So here's my thing, and this is something I always say about people who are more vocal and louder, so to speak. Why is it always we gotta bring ourselves down? Why you can't meet me in the fucking middle? Why you can't come up a notch? Why do the person at the brutal honesty mark gotta just come all the way down? Why can't you understand who I am, what I am, and what my delivery is, and why I'm saying it, and come meet me up in the up top, and we both meet in the middle.
So here's what I say: Sharice is actually speaking to the middle. She's speaking to the middle.
I am.
So we talked about brutal honesty.
No.
Hold on, babe. Let me finish. She talked about brutal honesty, and we talked about white lies. So what I'm saying, and so the middle ground, which I wanted to slow walk this thing to get into the relationship talk, but she keeps going to it.
Just
The reality that
I don't know if I triggered
the word brutal.
Definitely.
The brutal piece it says that my honesty is unfiltered, right? I ain't thinking about nothing. I'm just saying what I say, and this is what it is. There is some value in truth.
It is.
Period. Right?
It is.
And then the white lie piece being, I want to soften the blow. I want to say something to make you feel good. I don't really want to tell you that because it might hurt your feelings, all that, right? And then, again, it's dressed up sometimes to seem like it's a noble thing because of the quote-unquote intent. But the middle ground is, be honest, but do it in a way that it'll be received based on your audience.
Correct. Because if it's not received, where are you going with it?
So my next question, we talked about who we like. When we talk about brutal honesty and white lies, who do you trust?
And see,
Clearly the white liar.
No, but even to the extent.
The white liar is fucking.
No, I'm saying, but no, and that was exactly what I was about to say.
Because it makes you feel good. And we live in a culture where everybody wants to fucking feel good.
No, but basically saying, but the brutal honest person is still honest. The only reason why people really look at it like it's a straight blow is because of the value of the opinion that person is. The value of that person's opinion makes it brutal. Because if an average Joe just comes to you and say something that they don't like about you, something like that, you want to brush it right off. So it always boils down to the person that's actually saying it to you.
I think it's just what you feel about it yourself. I think when somebody says something that strikes a nerve that you're already struggling with yourself,
no, but I'm saying I
don't really care who it is, because I believe that we can go outside right now and there's a homeless person right under us, and we go out and this homeless person can say something crazy. If it's something that any of us was already feeling within ourselves, even that homeless man could make us start to question the shit. People just don't want the fucking truth, because people want somebody to validate themselves and make them feel different. So if I say, hey, I'm going back to dress, sis, your dress is ugly. And she thought her dress was cute, but in the back of her mind, the only reason she asked it, because she already thought this shit was fucking ugly. She already thought this shit was ugly. So now that I fucking validate her ugly part,
so she knows.
So on one end she said it's cute, on one end she said it's ugly. So when I bring out the ugly, now I'm brutally honest. Bitch, you was already thinking about it. You know the dress is fucking ugly.
The brutally honest person looks at situations as it's a you problem.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, because sometimes that's basically what it boils down to. Because understand, that's just one thing I should say all the time. If I feel like whatever I'm doing, I feel like it's the shit to me, I don't give a fuck what 100 people
That's
at work
how
can
I
tell me.
feel.
It's the shit to me. So
Even
it's
if
like,
I ask you.
even though that's my opinion, how can you even bother you if you don't? Only reason why you really bothered by my opinion is because
you
you
already
got
thought
some
that way
insecurities with that situation.
'Cause you
and
know
I
the
pointed
dress
it
is
out.
ugly.
I pointed
You
it
talking
out.
about the dress.
Right.
All right. So we talked about who we like. We talked about who we trust. How about respect?
All right, it's a level of respect with it.
Respect.
Like,
Which
no, I'm
Which
saying,
one?
like, when I'm being honest.
Which one is
it's-
respect?
Which one? For you
which
personally.
one
Oh, you
is
saying-
respect?
For you personally, the brutally honest or the white liar, which one do you feel?
Who
that
do
you
I
respect?
have
Yeah.
respected as in general and whole, as in
Nigga,
society?
who you respect?
No, I'm saying me personally, or what you think society.
You.
Oh, I'm gonna respect the brutally honest person every time.
Okay.
Like I hang around comedians. I'm around, you know what I mean? And that one thing about comedians is they brutally honest. Like they'll come in the room and say the worst fucked up shit and smile and everybody laughing, but like, yo, that was fucked up to say right there. But it's so, it's a level of just honesty, but it's a freedom with it. You know what I'm saying? And the deception is just like, deception is deception. I don't care if you try to be nice. Even if you overly try to be nice, it's an air of deception in the air. And I'm going to feel that. And I just don't, I respect the person that's more brutally honest. It's just me personally.
All right, come on down the line.
So,
How?
I will have to say with me, and I'm be honest, gauging between both sides. Because I feel like...
Sis, you can't benefit me.
Hold on, stop.
No.
So listen.
No, I can't say
But
both
listen,
sides.
you gave us, you keeping us, you're actually taking us where we trying to go later.
So
But I need you to pick between one of those two.
So no, I'm gonna be honest. I have adjusted to the brutally honest. I respect that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Regardless of intent or whatever, I can take it. But just in my mind, it's like, let me ask for it before you give it to me.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean? Let me ask for it.
Let me solicit it.
Okay.
Correct.
What about you, baby?
Brutally honest.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I respect brutal honesty. I do.
I just trip how women all of a sudden now want to wait to be asked for something, but now other times they want to take initiative. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna come back to that.
I can't.
We're gonna come back to that. So let me make a quick connection. So in therapy, right? There's a term called unconditional positive regard. Meaning, as a clinician, when you're working with somebody, you want to make sure that you can, give people the insight that they need without seeming or being judgmental, right?
Correct.
Or like they're being judged. So you can be working with the hardenest criminal in the world, but you have to create an environment where they feel open to share.
And comfortable.
And so there's a line between, not necessarily a line, but you have to actually be able to, you got to build a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in that, be able to challenge appropriately, support appropriately. And so I'm thinking about that in the context of being brutally honest, telling white lies. As a clinician, obviously, you don't want to tell a person a lie, right? But if you're working with a serial killer in treatment in a correctional facility, you're not going to make them feel like you like what they do. You feel what I'm saying? But you can't come in there and say,
brutally honest.
but you can't come sit in front of them while you're trying to help them, or what have you, and say, you know what, you're the scum of the earth.
You the only.
But they probably respect you. If
I'm just saying, I'm making a connection between.
No, I'm
being
just
a clinician.
saying, you're the only one that got a T to that line because we can just be brutally honest.
I'm glad you said that. So in the realm of being a clinician, you have to understand and work with unconditional positive regard, but also hold accountable, challenge, build a relationship, all of those things together, right? That's in the realm of being clinical.
Uh-huh.
The next thing, and this is where we get the fun part comes in. Where does all this land in the world of marriage and relationships?
Oh, well, Sharice be taking
She
it
done
there
already
all
there.
day.
Right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, you took us there. So I'm gonna start this one, right?
Okay.
So I'm married to a young lady who is honest.
Brutally fucking honest.
And I was gonna say brutally honest. And so when we talk about those who are brutally honest as the sender, as the receiver, those who receive and give white lies, there are sometimes situations where those who are brutally honest are not comfortable receiving brutal honesty.
Say that again.
They are, and there's some.
But then we
And
was
my
just
reason,
talking about
and
this.
so my reason for saying that is, and here's why. just like as a clinician in a relationship, you have to know your person and know where they are so that you can temper your honesty so that it can be received.
Correct. Absolutely.
I think that there's a time and place for it all, honestly. But I think, honestly, when you are brutally honest, sometimes you just need to be brutally honest. Like again, we keep saying what people got to temper for but you got to, when that brutally honest person gives you it, you also got to take it into account. I think that there's a time and place for it both. I believe that there are some times, depending on the situation, depending on the timing, where you can temper it. I think sometimes for me personally, when I temper something, it's going to be worse. If I think about it and try to make it sound better, 9 times out of 10, it's going to come out even more fucked up than I could have ever imagined. Real shit. So you better just take it how I'm just going to spit it.
So with me, you're going to have to temper 90% of the time, because in my mind, in giving my family's history, let me be completely honest with y'all, okay? I got the shit in me, okay? So in my mind, when you're being honest with me, you can be honest with me, but just be careful how you speak with me, because in my mind, that's the angel on one side, the devil on the other, and that devil be like, "Oh, bitch, they playing with you." Like, show them who the fuck you really is. Show them that you Patty daughter. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm the nice one. So in my mind, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Wait, first of all, by what definition are you nice, though?
Listen.
Like, let's stop
in my
this
mind,
bullshit.
I'm like, I'm the nice one. So it'd be like, oh,
She's
okay.
in your mind.
No, she's the white lie.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But so it's kind of like, handle me with care.
I do understand that.
I can take the honesty. However, depending on how you deliver it is how I'm going to receive it. Don't think you about to be brutally honest with me in a room full of motherfuckers that I don't fuck with. I'm not going to receive that well.
That's context.
AKA,
that's context.
Look,
yeah.
AKA, we going to be driving down 95 and I'm going to swing on you.
Yeah,
that's me.
I fucking
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you what growth
but
is.
if you handle it with care,
context.
I can receive it better.
But I'm
or in
think
private.
about it.
Or in private.
Or we can just talk about growth. And growth is, don't you put yourself in a predicament to be around a room full of motherfuckers that you don't get down with. You don't even have that problem.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I want to be in a room with people I can be honest with.
I
Be honest with
Me
you.
too.
That's
I
you know
agree
what I
with you
mean?
on
Like them days are just far gone. You know what I mean? And be honest with you, I'm probably gonna say some shit that's gonna get in front of them people, so you be mad and we get the fuck out of there.
And so here's me stepping outside of clinical role, right? And really being regular, right? Like trying to get this husband thing right.
Regular smuggler.
So, you know, women are different. They got a whole lot of rules and things that you gotta know, and dates and calendar stuff that you need to know. On this day, I gotta talk to her like that, or on that day, I can't say this. So, to a man married to a woman who's self-proclaimed brutally honest.
I don't self-proclaim it. Everybody else proclaim that shit.
Listen, you just proclaimed it today. I ain't talking about that.
Well, because y'all gave it to me.
Y'all. All right, so y'all know I'm married to a woman right here who is brutally honest. And so the struggle that I have is she gonna say what she gonna say, when she gonna say it, how she gonna say it, right? But, you know, as a married man, I gotta know what time of the month it is. I gotta know what time of the day it is. I gotta know a lot of things, you know, if I want to say certain things or if I need to say something to her. And sometimes, you know, again, being a person who, you know, I kind of think, right? I might be driving home and I gotta talk to her about X, Y, Z when I get to the crib, right? And I'm like, all right, if I say it like this, she gonna spaz. If I say it like this, she ain't gonna be trying to hear it. But what I've come to learn and realize, and we talked about it a moment ago, when you're honest, whether it be brutal, whether it be with tact, however you package it, it is largely contingent on the mind state of the person receiving that information, how it goes. And so let me before
I
you jump
agree
in.
with that.
So there's and one time, right? Me and we were talking about something, and this happened a couple times. And she'll say, you know what? I know what you're saying is what I need to say, but sometimes I just don't want you to say something. So you know you need to hear it, but sometimes you just
I ain't
want me
ready
to
to
shut
hear
up.
it. Just shut the fuck up right now. When I'm ready for your brutally honest ass.
So you
I'll
get the
ask
shutting
for it.
up when I said that.
No, but the difference
Just
is
shut
what I
up.
was just saying. But you just gotta tell them to shut the fuck up.
No,
That's the
when you
difference.
not ready, when you're not ready to hear honesty, go where the white liars are and enjoy that shit. And you know,
But real shit though. I was thinking about this. When you give somebody a white lie, right, and we determine and we figure out later on that was a lie, it starts to question everything that was ever said, right? If you give me brutal honesty, in that moment I may feel uncomfortable. In that time I might be like, damn, that really hurt. And then you look later and you be like, well, let me see this. Well, they was right about this or whatever. Even because just because you giving your brutal honesty doesn't mean it's law, right? But I don't have to question your integrity. I don't now have to question everything that you once shared with me and said to me. You just telling me how it is. If I find out anything you say is a lie, white or any other fucking color, because I mean, I guess you can go through the whole rainbow, I'm going to question everything that you say thereafter.
right?
I mean, so I guess, yeah, it may hurt in the moment. And I guess us brutally honest people, we can temper what we say if it makes sense.
But I mean, I think it goes. I think on the other end of being honest is you got to accept the fact that you're gonna be challenged within your honesty. Mm-hmm. Even though I put it out there, don't mean that it's gonna go the way that I want it to go.
I just thought about
That's
something.
true.
So think about it like this. If I'm being honest, and I'm not gonna put the word brutal on it, right? If I'm being honest to you, and I'm saying something that you may know is true, but you're not ready to accept or receive,
You're gonna be in denial.
you can then challenge my delivery, challenge my intent to invalidate my truth versus a beautiful Christmas wrap lie.
All right, instead of accepting it. But at the end of the day, whether even if you win that argument with me, if I bow down with my truth, in your face, I bowed down. And I said, all right, you know what? My truth turned into a lie to appease you. You still got to go home and deal with the situation at hand. And
Because
I told
you
the
also
truth
brought
about.
it up, right.
Right, it don't change the fact that the truth is still the truth. The facts are the facts. You just been coddled in your brain to feel good for that moment. But every time that subject is going to pop back up, you're going to be triggered and you're going to keep bumping into that same road every time.
We shouldn't give our brutal opinion. We should give brutal fact. Because like we talked about the dress was an opinion. So if I say, sis, your dress is ugly, that's my opinion, and that's me thinking that I'm being brutal with an opinion. But saying that, hey, you are a liar, and you lied to me, that's a fucking brutal truth. Like, so I can understand, I can see that. So we can often confuse just speaking what we feel as truth.
Correct.
But it ain't necessarily truth. It's just we're just disclosing how we feel
Correct.
openly.
And
Which
it's
is
open,
why
but I'm saying,
the
but it's
person
open.
feels judged.
But in that term, that's where communication gaps lie. Because now, okay, conversations become uncomfortable, but some people are uncomfortable having uncomfortable conversations. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
if I'm giving you a brutal
if I give you that
opinion, my brutal opinion shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't stop
how
the conversation
you
that
feel.
you walk in the room and you're
Because
upset.
that's
Because
my
guess
truth.
what?
Right.
You could ask me why I think that, and we could go to logic. I can tell you logically why I think that this is the way I think this is the way. And guess what? You can dispute it however way, and we can get down to that. And we can agree to disagree and get down to that part. But most people are so wrapped around feelings that they don't got the emotional intelligence to even get down to the resolution. It's like you already stuck on the point right here before you can get to anything resolved.
Correct. I am feeling based. So consider my feelings when you're delivering whatever message you want to deliver to me. Period. If you want me to receive it, that's me. Because if it's delivered
She said ding, ding, ding.
I'm being honest. If it's delivered any other way, but with care and with love.
And see, this the part that she don't even get sometimes,
You're
right? It's like
not getting what you want.
It's like
okay,
it's
you're
like,
not getting what you want.
It's like the house could be burning the fuck down. And because I'm saying, yo, get the fuck up. The house is on fire. Why you gotta talk? The fucking house is burning the fuck
What she
down.
say? Cherise.
Right.
The house is on fire, baby.
And so,
And she still gonna give you the same questions, huh? What? It's the same
Handle
shit.
me with
so
care.
you know what? And I thought about something, right?
Period.
when kind of conceptualizing this whole idea, right? I just thought about, you know, that brutal honesty and how you mentioned as a society where everybody people would love for you to come and smile in their face and lie to them versus frown and tell them the truth. And so one thing that kind of came up to me is this is one of those little dark things where when somebody has to get bad news, if you come to me and tell me somebody I love died, but we try to dress it up, they passed away.
They went to meet the maker.
You know, all these nice, cute words to say the same thing. If you tell me, and I thought about, I had to, one time tell my daughter that my aunt died. I'm like, she went to heaven. My daughter was like, when you start talking about heaven, she don't want it. She don't like heaven. At the end of the day, you can try to dress up a lie, but it's still a lie. Mm-hmm. And you can, I guess, demonize the truth, but it's still the truth. And so essentially, the sender of the message, the receiver of the message have a responsibility within themselves to reach a place of self-actualization so that they can be comfortable giving it and taking it.
And if they can't take it, ask a question. But I believe, again, depending on your audience means, hey, you know what? That was real fucked up how you said that. And then maybe they can say, look, I ain't mean to hurt your feelings, but that's just what it was or whatever. Because sometimes shit just can't be dressed up.
And sometimes people don't understand that little pain that you feel when the truth hits you, that is the passageway to acceptance. And that's when shit get better. Once you accept that this is a reality, now you got the reality of changing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and because the whole time somebody tell you white lies and you in denial about what the situation is. I know people who tell white lies just to keep the confusion. So whichever way it sways, I mean, I'm on the positive way. See the beauty and truth is I've set what it is. And I'm taking a position, and it is what it is. It's gonna be growth from truth. Beautiful lie means I ain't gonna necessarily tell you your dress is ugly. But guess what? If you think it's ugly, I'm gonna go with you. If you think it's cute, I'm gonna go. So you get to play, in my opinion, what I call that is the fucking 50. You get to go either way the fucking story goes. When you tell the truth, I am starting the story. I'm creating the story. I'm fucking finishing the fucking story. There's no question what it is. You know where I roll in it. And if that person is a real friend, like somebody that you really know, y'all have a certain type of relationship, they know whether or not you will really wear that shit or not. Like they know before they ask you that shit. They know that you'll wear that shit. And so you just made me think of something you said again in the In-Laws Outlaws episode. You mentioned that you were saying that sometimes spouses aren't comfortable having tough conversations or being honest and upfront with each other. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. That's probably that's probably like 80% of the reason why infidelity is even in marriage. I hate him. Because it's like the truth not being there. So if I'm not comfortable telling you, being honest with you, then guess what happens? That's where the 80-20 rule is in. Now I meet somebody else where I'm not getting that little 20%, but now it feels like 80 because we not having that conversation. That leaves the door open for somebody to go out here and have that situation. Well, I'm giving you that white lie. No, I mean, I'm completely satisfied. But because you're not being honest with me, it makes me a weakness out to the world. Right. So somebody else can see it like, oh, he ain't used to even say, if you didn't stroke my ego, you're a woman that don't stroke your husband's ego, and then all of a sudden he gets around a woman, she say, oh, I stroke his ego. He receptive to this. That's all I got to do. That's your weakness, which is being exposed. All I got to do is show him this, which can lead to infidelity. I mean, that's a harsh fucking truth. It is what it is. Take it. What you want, brutal? I mean, exactly. Anybody can be a fucking anything could be a weakness
for somebody else to give, because the reality is, at no point in time is everybody able to give you 100%. See, that's what I call the difference between stupid and having some motherfucking willpower. Because nobody can meet every fucking need you have and fulfill every little gap that somebody can slide in.
100% of the time.
It just don't fucking work that way in the real world of real motherfucking people.
But see,
You're
that
gonna
boils
have
down-
to sometimes be able to turn some shit down because your ego wasn't stroked and you know what the fuck it is.
That's true.
That's
But
some
see, but
bullshit.
see, no, but
I don't
that's
like people say that
but that's
dumbass
subjective to what's important to you. See, now we can
That's
say whatever
true.
that situation is. So some people sacrifice certain things for other things. See, you
So
always
that's
can mix
true.
and match
And
things.
so look,
true.
with what I'm hearing
I
now,
agree with that.
we're gonna spin the wheel. But what y'all talking about is definitely in one of those other topics, and we're gonna dive into that. So look, we're gonna wrap up, right? So a couple things, and I'm just gonna share a couple things. One question I want y'all to kind of ponder, and I want y'all to take this. When we talk about white lies, when we talk about the brutal honesty, again, the person who's brutally honest is one who sometimes get a bad rap for being insensitive. But they are people that you don't have to figure out what they're thinking. And then those persons who are telling white lies, they're people who, you feel like they're trying to make you feel good, but sometimes you have to wonder if they're being honest or not because you don't really know. So my question is, and actually, is it your responsibility to manage someone else's emotions? And so the person that's being brutally honest is oftentimes and most times telling you what you need to hear. While that person that's telling the white lie sometimes is telling you what you want to hear. It's up to you to determine which one of those two receivers you want to be. So we're going to talk about
And
this.
let's understand there's a difference between brutal opinion and brutal truth.
Big facts, big facts. So look, again, we talking about brutal honesty. We talking about white lies. Are they character flaws? Personality traits. How they impact relationships. Date night with Coach, y'all. What we gonna do, Sharice? They gonna do what?
They gonna like and subscribe.
Peace out. We love y'all.
Peace out, y'all.
Ah, that was cute.